All right, and we're live. So, for maths today, we are looking at this bit here that we can do complex calculations using the correct order of operations. So we're going to learn what that order is. So some examples of some complex calculations could be things like this. So we've got lots of stuff going on. We've got times, there's takeaway, there's a divide, there's a plus. Anything else that looks a bit strange? What do we got? Yeah, so squared numbers, Riley was saying. So that's a square number. It could even be a small, like a little 3. That'd be another sort of thing. It's a type of calculation. And also, we've got these brackets as well, which we don't normally see, but they can be used in maths. So, yeah, well, let's have a little look. I did a little drawing. It's the little calculation help desk. There's a little guy, and he's just like, yeah, I'm here to help with calculations. But there's a queue. So whoever's at the front of the queue, they're going to get served first. So the first person at the front of the queue is brackets. So anything in brackets, the calculation person's going to help with that first. So he's right there at the front. So that means if I was going to do this question here, the first thing I can do is whatever's inside the brackets. So if I was going to do that, I might copy it and I'll start it off. Oop, go away. Come on, let me drag you. There we go. Copy paste. So we'll drag this guy down. So first thing is the brackets. So I get 5, take away 1. Oop, he's a bit big. Make him a bit thinner. We get 4. And then we have times 2. We've got this guy. Take away 5 times 1. Alright, so I've done a bit of the order. Now who's next in line? Who do we think? I wonder. Riley reckons squared numbers. Let's find out. Yep, this guy, he's got the square glasses. He does things like squared numbers or what's called an exponent. It's the fancy word. I write the fancy word. So an exponent or an indice. I hope I spelled that right. So that basically means if you have a number, anything, it could be a 1, it could be a 2, it could be a 3, it could be a 10. That's how many times you times the number by itself. So indices are next. So if I look at our example, we have an indice here. We have a square number. So now I have to figure him out. So it's going to be 4 times, and this means whatever that number is, times it by itself 2 times. So 2 times 2. So that turns this bit into 4. Everything else we're keeping because we haven't changed it yet. All right, we're on a roll. So now what do I have left? I've got a times, I've got a takeaway, and I've got another times. So let's have a look who's next in the queue. We have the times and divide guys. They're buddies. They sort of hang out together. So when if you have something that's got times and divide, you can just go left or right, doesn't matter. They can go, doesn't matter if it's times or divide. Any times and divide you can do. So if we look here, there's the times and there's the times. So that means I can imagine some brackets here or here. I have to do 4 times 4 and I have to do 5 times 1. Don't do this one yet. So if I do 4 times 4, I get 16. There's that takeaway, and then I had a 5 times 1, which is a 5. So that's where I'm up to so far, and as you can guess, probably the very end of the line, the adds and the takeaway, and they're a bit like, we're at the end, it's going to be a while. So that's my little faces. So there you go, we got this last one, takeaway, so we get 16, takeaway 5, boom, 11. So 5 take away 1 being times by 2 squared, take away 5 times 1 is 11. So that's a complex calculation. So those are the steps. So let's have a look at this one here, and we'll see if we can remember the steps. I'll put him down like that. All right, so I've got Riley having a look. What do you think we have to do first, Riley? Yes, whatever's in the brackets I've got to do first. Yep. So just to remind you, Riley was asking, do I do 5 times 2? So this number means this guy. How many times do I times it by itself? So there's 1 time. So if there's a 2, it's 2 times. So it's going to be 5 times 5. It's a square number. So we've got 5 times 5. We get 25, says Riley. So we got 25, and then it's got plus 3. So I can do that all, because it's still in the brackets, I'll do all that stuff in the brackets together. 25 plus 3, 28. Alright, brackets are done. What would I do next? Riley reckons divide. I think he might be right. What would 28 divided by 4 be? I think 7. Let's find out. If I did 5 times 4 is 20. So I need another 8, so that's another 2 4s. Plus 4, plus 4, so that's 5, 6, 7 times. Yep. So we get 7 plus 7. And that's the last bit to do. 7 plus 7, double 7, 14. So there you go. So 5 squared plus 3, in brackets divided by 4 plus 7 is 14. So that's another complex one. So that's basically it. If you're following those steps, you can do lots of different complicated calculations. So what we've got for people at home is some little example ones. So you got to do in this one, it's got some brackets first, so we'd probably do the brackets. So we'd get 8 take away 3, which would be 5. So then it's 7 times 5, and then your answer would go in here. So these ones are pretty simple. I'm going to put all of these in the Google Teams in your folder, and you should be able to open it and just click on it and type into it. But if you can't, people at home will let us know. And then they get a bit more complicated as we go along if you want to try the harder ones. Put brackets in the following to make the answers correct. Interesting. Use all the following numbers to create an expression. All right. Another one I've got for Riley, and I'll try and send it home to people as well, but I can't. This one you couldn't type in. Is there is a code, so you got to solve each one of these equations. There's a lot, and then with the number you get letters, and then you'll be able to get a code from each of these. So that's another one if you're feeling pretty confident with them. And that's pretty much it. So just to recap, when we're doing our calculations, the little help desk, brackets always is the first one to get helped and solved. The next one is the exponents or the indices. That's the ones with the little number above. Could be a 2, could be a 3, which means how many times you times that number by itself. So a little 2, so x times 2, that means x times x. Or if it is a 3, that means x times x times x. So like 2 squared would be the same as 4. 2 times 2. 2 cubed would be 2 times 2 times 2, which would be 8. Because you get 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So these numbers, the bigger they are, the huge your numbers will get. So after that's all done, you can do your timeses and your divides. And then lucky last is your adds and your takeaways. So that is it. I'll put those up for you guys to have a look at.